Here's a fun fact. Did you know you could actually accurately diagnose what's broken in your practice just like you did when you were a treating therapist? For those of you who are owners in physical therapy private practice today, we literally can't let go of our clinical diagnostic skills. Our ability to evaluate and assess conditions to get to the true etiology, the true source, the true why as to what we're seeing in front of us. When we were treating patients, we were often in our younger years a little thrown off maybe by the symptoms or the subjective complaint or the presentation. And then as you got better at your clinical care and you got more experience and you educated yourself in advanced training, you started to understand that the pain isn't always where the problem is. The problem's usually the one that's being hidden, right? It's the one that you actually have to dig to. You have to discover for yourself. The same thing holds true in your private practice. So many owners reach out to us here at Meg Business Management. We do coaching and administrative services of virtual front desk, insurance verification, credentialing, and billing. And oftentimes they come and they tell me what their problems are. They say, these are our problems. I'm like, well, these are the symptoms of something else that may be out that's leading to this source of this symptom. Let's get down to the right why. So let's look at this in a few steps. I think this might help if we organize it a little bit, because so many of us don't look at ourselves, and we really have to look at ourselves first, and then we have to look at our structure, our people, and our systems, okay? So there is an order, just like there was a SOAP note, there was a certain way you went about your back evals, or your knee evals, or your shoulder evals. You knew what you did first, second, third, fourth, so that you could get the most accurate diagnosis for yourself. So I'm gonna share this with you on how you can get the most accurate diagnosis as to what might be breaking your PT practice or holding you back from being all that you can be. Maybe it's not broken, but maybe it's being held back. It's stagnant, it's flat, it's sliding, it's skidding. And what can you do about it? So step one, know what to measure. You have to embrace the idea that I'm going to manage by statistics. I'm not going to give people raises because I like them or because they laugh at my jokes or they buy me Krispy Kremes. It's not what you're going to do. You're not going to just go out there and hire people that are like you and see things like you. You're going to hire for value. You're going to hire on a merit-based system, and you're going to sit down with each and every one of your new hires, and you're going to have what's called a two-way street conversation. I have a whole document, a whole flyer on this. It's a complete lecture inside Meg Academy that I pass out to owners just like you. And I say, you know what? This relationship is an exchange. There's an exchange that has to happen here. I'm not here to be hip national bank and pay out whatever it is you need and want as an employee, whether you're a clinician or a non-clinician. That's not going to work here. Salary plus benefits is doom. It is literally doomed today. Salary plus benefits just guarantees a one-way flow in one direction, regardless of what you're getting back. And by the time you have the level of confront to address it, often it's too late. You've already suffered the financial loss. I'm sharing with you some of the common basic executive principles that we educate and train and apprentice on with all of our Meg Academy clients. And now we're actually layering that on top of our billing and our front desk and our insurance verification clients. We are ringing the bell when we see an office's numbers slide and skin and kick them over to Meg Academy so we can boost them back up. So number one thing I look for when I go to evaluate an office or do a practice assessment is, are you managing by statistics? Do you know the KPIs per division, per department, and the individual statistics per employee, per position? There are metrics for the group, the department, the division, the practice, and then there's individual statistics for the employees and for the people on post. So let's get those defined. Let's know what those are. Let's know what the primary products are and the sub-products. Let's know what the primary statistic is and the sub-statistics. Little secret for you. It's all about the substats and the subproducts. The more you put your focus on achieving the substats and subproducts, the more primary stats and products you get. So if you want more new patients, it's about the things you do, such as SEO, blogging, Dear Doctor letters, lunch and learns, events, things like that. Internal success stories, testimonials, website informational videos, all of this stuff. Substat, contact reach. Those things will lead to more new patients coming in your practice. Number two, if there's a problem in the practice and something actually being held back, it's a who, not a what. so many people think, if I just did this, or if I just got this done, and maybe that's what you're saying, if I just had enough hours in the day to get to this. It's not a what, it's a who's not doing their job. Who didn't I hire for? Maybe I have an open chair, and the who is the space, it's the opening. Oftentimes you will find that you will put people in a position, you will train them, hat them, cut them loose and let them do it, and then you just micromanage the dickens out of them because you don't feel they can do it to your level of expertise. So if you're gonna get away with actually building a team and having a village make this successful, which is what you're doing when you're running your business, then you have to trust the person enough to give them the job and trust them enough to do the job. Step away. Micromanagement will always keep you small. Perfection will always keep you small. If you truly want to grow and you truly want to get some distance from your practice, then find out who in the organization is not wearing their hat, who's not living up to the level of accountability, who's not being fully responsible for giving you the products, producing the product, solving their own problems. If everything bubbles up to you, then you might as well just take the job back. It's a who, not a what. That's how you're going to get down from symptoms to diagnosis. Number 3, you absolutely have to create on change. Our healthcare system is changing all the time, and you have to confront this reality. From 1950 to today, I tell you, it's get an eval, treat the patient through a plan of care, discharge the patient, get another eval, treat through a plan of care, discharge the patient, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of this noise? Tired of seeing your reimbursement go down 16% or so over the last 15 years, I guess 12 to 15 years from just Medicare alone, not to mention the fact that United Healthcare is out there paying some offices $51 a visit, $58 a visit, $61 a visit. A damn massage therapist is making $85 a visit. What is going on? Like I said, don't get me, I will be frustrated and rant about our health insurance system for sure. But it's not going to get us anywhere. If we confront the reality that we have control over our brand, our patient satisfaction, and our company culture, and we should invest all of our energies there so that we can run a thriving, viable practice, then we need to flip over on the other side. We have maximum control over our biggest expense in our practice, and that's our payroll. If you cut your payroll in half and you look at your administrative payroll and you could literally outsource all of it and reduce your payroll on that by 5%, maybe even 10%, that could be tens of thousands of dollars to your bottom line and a higher degree of performance without any turnover. What a nightmare averted. I mean, how many of you literally wake up and you come in and there's that resignation and your front desk staff member gives you 2 weeks or less. And you're like, oh, who's going to answer the phone? Who's going to schedule these evals all over again, starting in the training and all the development and all the scripts and oh my gosh. Keeping up on it, verifying insurance, getting the authorization within 24 hours. Who's going to do that? Stabilize this kind of stuff. Look, you don't do your own bookkeeping, so why would you want to be hiring in-house for this stuff? This is a different world. So find out what actually is holding you down. It's usually going to be a high expenditure, a high cost, usually payroll, or maybe it's one of the other metrics. You know, maybe your rent isn't 10% of your GI. Maybe it's too high. Maybe it's higher. That's got to be below 10% of your GI. And I could go on and on and on with these metrics. But this is my step number 3. Confront the reality. Is your rent too high? Is it over 10%? Is your payroll over 50% of your GI? Is it over 60%? That's a 5-alarm fire. Get it down under 60% into the 50 range. Shoot for 50. If you literally look at outsourcing the functions that we never even went to school for anyways, you can drive that payroll down close to 40%. That's a game changer in your practice. Next, don't be afraid to reach for help. I find so many of us old-timer PTs, I've been doing this 33 years, we did it all ourselves. I would never do that today. Never. I have a business coach. I am a business coach. And yet I have a business coach. It's like even Tom Brady had a coach. Who's going to stop waking up each and every day and investing in themselves? I'm not. I want to live a better 57-year-old life than I did 56. I mean, isn't that what it's all about? So embrace this concept. Spend money on you. Spend money on developing you to be the best CEO, COO, recruitment officer, personnel management officer. Learn the art of communication to bring about agreement with greater ease. I'm going to give you just a couple suggestions in terms of solutions here now. Now that you know where to look, you know that you're not going to do it alone. You know you're going to twin up with another group that's going to provide you some help and support for sure. But beyond that, there is definitely got to be this communication with your staff and with your partners that there's a need for change. Too many of us see that there's something going on wrong in our office and we immediately jump into solutions. Your staff's not going to respond to embracing the solution if you haven't first convinced them that there's a need for change. Be more transparent. Be more sharing. Be more communicative. Set aside individual time and say, look guys, we can't keep going and doing what we're doing. We're just going to keep getting what we've got. It's not your fault. We can all make this happen if we all take on a little bit of a different perspective. If we all share in the roles and responsibilities to produce our products and subproducts, we will be successful. Trust me, there's other people in this community that are doing physical therapy or in this state that are winning. We can be on that winning team too. We first have to confront and admit the reality is things have to change. You have to be demanding for change. Once that happens, we set targets. We're here, we want to be here. We're averaging 8 evals a week, we want to start averaging 15 evals a week. We're going to step by step get there with a 2-month marketing campaign, a consistent calendar. We're going to outsource social media, posts and blogs 3 days a week, every single week, and we're going to just be consistent. We're going to constantly flow out. We're going to have an email campaign. We're going to have an outside marketing campaign. We're going to have an internal marketing campaign. We're going to do hunting and farming to bring patients in. These changes will change everything for your practice. Maybe it's about recruiting. Maybe it's about getting paid for what you do. Maybe you need to change your EMR system and have a greater level of efficiency. Work with a more comprehensive billing company. That's what is the most popular thing for us right now. Everybody wants it all in one, and we're able to provide that. Maybe that's for you too. Last but not least, most importantly, have a management action plan. Be prepared to start every Monday morning looking at the previous week's statistics, looking at the prior week's performance, and whipping up what you're going to do this week. And on that management action plan, if it hits that piece of paper, if it hits that list, it's because in doing so, it's going to raise the conditions in your practice. It's not a to-do list. It's a complete course of action or cycle of action that's going to elevate the viability and thrivability of your practice. It's not like go get a printer cartridge. That's not what hits the list. It's like post and maybe embrace 2 staffing agencies so I can get a new therapist here in the next 12 weeks instead of the next 12 months. So that's it. That's my message for this week. Thank you so much for listening. I know you're super busy. Hit like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it when you help me out with the algorithm. Look, here's the thing. It's PTs helping PTs. I'm sharing with you. If you feel your practice is broke, if you feel you're in quicksand, if you feel stagnant, here's 4 steps you can follow, and there's definitely more solutions at hand that you could embrace. Go ahead, reach out to us at Meg Business Management and grow at megbusiness.com. And I will do a practice assessment call with you, a discovery call, and we will get you the resources, the help, the support that you need to hit the goals and targets that you've always envisioned for yourself as the practice owner of your dreams, if that's what you've envisioned. So let's do it. Let's get you living the ideal scene.